Hi there, my name is Crystal and welcome to my channel Books Forever After, where I sit on the floor and we talk about everything and all things books. Alright, so today we are taking a walk down memory lane and talking about all my favorite YA or young adult books before Booktube. Yeah, I think you already know what books are going to be in here, most likely. Yes, I'm a millennial, okay. Alright, so I have 10 books here, and I don't know how I rated this, but yeah, we'll go with that. So yeah, my favorite YA books before Booktube, or before I joined Booktube. So here we go. Obviously, we all know Harry Potter. That series was a really big one in my YA, and really obviously the first kind of series that was considered, I believe, YA. I think before it was just like teen fiction or something like that. So yeah, obviously very influential. I actually started reading them when I was in, was it 8th grade or 9th grade when they came out? I can't remember. But it was right when I remember reading it in high school, and the 7th book was just came out. So it was like really around that time. So really, obviously, it is a series that really was influential in my childhood, and a series that I still love to this day. But I know that there's also some other great ones as well. But it also was the impact that the series had in the book community, I think, as well, and just in the industry was significant. 'Cause I think that was the first one that was considered like YA, was this whole idea of this, because unfortunately our society likes to put things into boxes, and because this was a book that, yes, it's following a, I don't know, teenager technically, so like what would be normally considered middle grade, but because it was so easily enjoyed and it kind of grew up with the character, and that adults could read it as well as too. So I don't know exactly, I'm not a fan of putting things into boxes or just considering them YA, just because of I can understand like the age appropriateness of the reader, I guess, you know, to indicate what is okay for, you know, the kids can read. That's at their, you know, maturity level. But at the same time, and this could probably be another discussion, but at the same time, and I know I'm rambling here, but at the same time, I know like a lot of female authors are put into the YA box just because it doesn't have all the adult themes and such. But yeah, it's still adult. I don't know. It's a touchy subject, and I guess I don't know exactly what the next, I don't know. I'm just a reader, and I love reading, so I don't know. I'm still learning all the lingo, and I've been reading since I was 12, so it's an ever-changing history that has evolved, I think, and just what we consider things. I know this is something that could be debated until the end of time, to be honest, because of these, you know, I want to say, what's the word? Because of these namings of like YA versus new adult versus adult kind of a thing. So yeah, such a tangent. But anyway, the next one is Twilight. Yes. Did I ever decide between like Edward and Jacob? I don't know. I wasn't like a Twihard, but I really enjoyed the books. I think I actually watched the movie when it first came out, the first one, and then I read the whole series because I'm like, I need to know. And then I was one of those people like watching like New Moons, like that didn't happen in the book. I happened. Like oh no, in the book this happened, and like that was like, yes, you are a book nerd, Crystal, in this scenario. But oh my gosh, I loved these books. I haven't reread them in quite some time. I think it's been at least 8 years since I read it, so I had not read the newest one either, that's an Edward's point of view of the first book, so I've heard mixed reviews of it. So yeah, that definitely was like I kind of loved it because the nostalgia of it is the music, like it felt grungy and yet emo-y, and I don't know, I just loved it. And I just love that vibe, I guess you could say, what we call it now. It's like I love that vibe, so definitely. The next one is the Mediator series by Meg Cabot. I loved this book, the series, and I just realized I have the 6, like the mass market paperbacks that you have on the screen here, but I didn't realize that they continued because this was before Goodreads and everything. So I totally missed out that there was more. So now I know I need to go pick them up so bad. I guess there's a couple novellas, and there's like the final, like they get married one in the end. So good. It follows, I can't remember the main character's name, but she can see ghosts and communicates with ghosts, and she's kind of like badass, kicks some butt, Ghostbuster style kind of a thing a little bit, and to get them to cross over and things like that. So really good. Really good. If I can find another series or book that will make me like that same feeling that I had reading the series, it's just so good. It's a comfort read, and the angst between the main character and the love interest that kind of grows. It's definitely a slow burn. There is definitely no spice, really. There's still, without it, because it's, it is YA, it was still so angsty and so, I don't know, grand sweeping a little bit at the end, like romantic a little bit. And maybe I'm overstating it, but I just absolutely loved it. So I love that series. I also liked, and I don't think it's as popular as well, but the next one, which is the Abandoned series by Meg Cabot, which is her Hades and Persephone's retelling before this big mass Hades and Persephone retellings that just happened in the past couple of years. This was like 10 years ago maybe. I can't remember when it was published, but obviously I think trends kind of come and go of like these subgenres, like vampires. Like vampires are always in, but sometimes like, with Twilight, they always have like this big, like, what's the word? They sometimes always have like this big comeback and resurgence a little bit for a time frame for a few years, and it kind of like dies off a little bit, but it comes back. So those are just one of those things that I think like Hades Persephone's retelling, like the Greek mythology retellings, I think will always kind of do that. Right now they're having a resurgence back. I think vampires will be coming back soon as well. What was another one? Angels and like demons also were big as well. So yeah, it's just really, really good series. I enjoyed it. I think I liked, it's obviously YA, no spice, but I liked, and it was what I kind of liked, right? The Meg Cabot. It can be hit or miss. I never read her, she's known for her Princess Diary series. I never read those, but her female characters are just so like, I don't know, spunky and kind of tough and speak up, advocate for them, and like speak up and advocate for themselves. And it's just, I don't know, they're kind of badass, and I really like to review their characters. They're just really fun, and the banter, they're witty. It's just, I don't know, it's a good time. You can laugh, you can cry. It's just so good, and you can spoon. And speaking of which, the next one, okay, speaking of angels, the next one that I read or I loved is the Fallen series by Lauren Kate. I know that she was reading, or not reading, but she kind of delved into now rom-com. So I don't know exactly what book she just released about that, but she didn't really release anything since then. I know there was like a movie that I thought it was good. I liked the movie, but it kind of flopped a little bit. I don't know if there was a TV show they were gonna do or not, but I thought it was good. It had like a love triangle, which is not my favorite trope, but it was just so good. And I think it's because the love if you haven't read it, look into it. But it's about this girl. There's a curse, and then she kind of goes to this school to something happened. She kind of like had to be reformed. Like she called it, like there was like a fire, so a boy died. And then she goes to the school. It's a little, very gothic feeling at this school, and which is another thing that I loved about it. And then, there's these it's basically the school is like a band of misfits. Everyone has some sort of problem where mental health or something that's going on. They're troublemakers, and then you have like the male interests are like the bad boy, kind of like you think he might be like the devil kind of a thing. And then you have like another, the good guy kind of thing, or, the hero guy. And so you kind of, obviously you find out there's angels. So, and it kind of revolves as a story. You find out who is who on the angel side and everything. But it's really awesome. This is just I think this is my favorite part of the books, is that there's some sort of flashbacks, but it is a love that like spans across time, and there is like some sort of like feeling of time travel when you're going into these flashbacks, and learning how the female main character and the male character, the hero, just kind of fell in love, and the curse and everything like that. I don't know, it was just really, really good. And don't pay attention to the movie if you didn't like the movie, but I highly recommend reading these. And I kind of want to reread these just because I do own the first 3 that I found in like I found them in half price books, and I really am looking for the last one. I want them in hardcover, but I love that series, and I will always probably keep them on my shelves, even that's just nostalgia. But and my kids want to read them again too. But so good. This is just nostalgia. Every single one of these. It's just that feeling that you get from reading a book that you love. Next is The Hunger Games by Collins. Obviously loved it. It also is very interesting on how I kind of like the movies too as well. And I did appreciate that they really did stay fairly close to the books, which was pretty good, especially, and sometimes the movies are even better. So yeah, the actresses was just great on that. And the book's really good. So I think that was like my first book of delving into the YA fantasy / really sci-fi, because of the whole post apocalyptic kind of a thing. So really, really good. Next is the House of Night series by PC and Kristen Cast. I don't know if I finished the series, but I really want to find all of them. I remember really liking them. These are like vampires, and similar to actually my next one is Vampire Academy by Michelle Mead. So those two kind of match. The House of Night series was different. Feedback I've heard lately is that it was problematic at that time. There are some things that are problematic that has been mentioned now. Obviously, I don't know. It's been a while since I read it. And of course, reading it in a different kind of time period and span of my life, I probably didn't even realize it. So, needless to say, whatever, I really liked the books, or loved those books. I probably will eventually reread those. I am trying to find those in the book sale, or library book sales, just because, I don't know, nostalgia. I think I have I have one physical book right now. I can't remember which one that one is, but yeah, I love that series. Same thing as Vampire Academy. And I read most in House of Night and Vampire Academy. I read most of these at the library at the time, so I had never gotten physical copies until later. But that's just how good they are when you're trying to find that book that you loved before, that you couldn't buy at the time. So these are the ones that, because I couldn't buy at the time when I loved them when I was younger, is rebuying them now. So definitely love them. Divergent series by Veronica Roth. That's number 9. I do own all 3 of these, and so yeah, I definitely love them. No, not Divergent. No, I own all 3 of Hunger Games. Divergent, I do not own them, but I did read them all, including the 4 book as well. I preferred the movie, you know, the movie series. I hated the last book, the ending. It did not end well. I did not like the way it ended, so really frustrated with that ending. So still loved it though, and it was just one of those things that was definitely hyped and very popular with the movies and everything like that. It was kind of seeing all these YA books becoming in part of the big screen was really cool. Alright, and then the last one, this is actually the series that I read the most, or YA that I read the most recently before, you know, everything else that you see me read on Booktube. But this one I read right before Booktube. I want to say I read it in 2020 when I was getting back into reading. And this was from the recommendation of my friend Em, and she owned these, and I never heard of these before. And that is the Embrace series by Jessica Shirvington. She's an Australian author, I believe. I think she has another series, but she hasn't written anything else. But it was really, really good. There's like 5 books in series. It's an angels series, follows angels, and there's like rules where they're half angels, where their parent was like an angel, and now they're, depending on what level their parent was of an angel, they are in that kind of realm, and they have certain powers in that way as well. So if you have an archangel parent, you're like in a higher level of that. Oh my gosh, this was also had the great romance. That is slow burn. I think it's maybe a 1 chili spice or 2 chili, not even 2 chili spice. There isn't much spice until like later in the books, where there's actually like a little steam times, but it's very quick and snapshot. But what makes this great is like midway through, like I think the last book in the series, last or the 4th one, I think it actually might be the last one. There's just so much angst between 4 and 5 of the books. It's just so good. Oh my gosh, the drama is just so good, and the sacrifice, everything, and the swoon is so good. There's witty banter. She's a kick-ass heroine, and what is really good about these two is that she's not just having these powers, and I think I think they kick in when you're like 16 or something like that. You don't like find out until then, I believe. And I think she just like keep it secret from her dad. Her mom passed away when she was younger, and her mom was the angel. But this is just, I don't know, it's just so good. So what I really appreciated is that she is slowly getting her skills. She's not automatically badass at the beginning. Like, she is really working towards her combat and things like that. And when she's working out with her friend, so it's kind of like a friends to lovers as well. And she always had like thought she was attracted to him as well, and they're kind of friends. So it's a little bit like friends to lovers, and it's so good. There's also like a love triangle a little bit. There's a little bit like a bad boy person, but you don't know which one she was gonna go with, so there's like, but you kind of knew, kind of a thing, a little bit like Twilight that way. But so good. So good. That's what I really appreciate. Like, she actually, like, and you see her getting better at her combat, and she grows as a character with the with her relationships and things like that, and she makes mistakes and then she learns from that. So yeah, great book series, and I'm so thankful for my friend for introducing me to those books. It was really great, and those are books that I don't have physical copies, but I am someday gonna get a physical copies of those books. So love it. Love that series. All right, so that is it. Please like, subscribe if you would like, and comment down below as well. Do any of these books stick out to you? What was like a very YA besides, you know, Twilight or Harry Potter, that you loved before Booktube? I would really love to know, because I feel like these are the books that kind of structure us as readers and or help us develop as readers, and they're so like core in our psyche, I feel like, and I love these books. And you find, and they're one of those that they just stay with you. So what is a book that when you're that a YA book that stuck with you even into adulthood? So yeah, I loved these books. Oh, so much fun. All right, so that is it. Thank you for watching. So yeah, and I will, so let me know what books that you would like, that you have read down below that has stuck with you. Really like to know your thoughts. And oh yeah, if you have a book of recommendation for me as well, that's that is what I'm here for. I'm looking for the book recommendations for myself as well, just to fall in love with a really good story. And I feel like that is why I love YA so much, is I could feel like I could just delve into those books and just be part of that world and just delve into the story. Even if there wasn't like spice or steam, you're just delving into the story and being part of the story and the angst, and just I feel like there's some of the greatest YA books like that because of it. So yeah, and not even necessarily like plot, but also like character development as well. All right, that is it. Thank you guys for watching and going with me on the journey of nostalgia and walking down memory lane. All right, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.